It's 2020. I'm in my family home on my summer break from university, and I'm very happy with myself because today I finished another lesson on the web development course that I'm doing, which means I'm one step closer to becoming a freelancer and not having to work a normal 9-to-5 job. I'm getting quite confident with it now, and any time now I'm thinking I'm going to start an Upwork account, start a Fiverr account, and start advertising my services. But I just have to do one more lesson to be more confident. Except a day passes, I learn more about web development, then another day passes, I complete another lesson. In fact, an entire week passes, I finish 3 entire lessons, and I still am not any closer to making those freelancing accounts. In fact, I go back to university after the summer break finishes, and I'm still going through the lessons. And in fact, 9 months later, after I start my 9-to-5 internship and that entire university year finishes, I still haven't completed all of the lessons. Now it's 2021, I'm working my 9-to-5 job, and when I get home, I'm working on these lessons. It's the same course, it was a really big one. I finally end up finishing it around the end of 2021, well into my 9-to-5. I knew everything there is to know about web development at this point. I could make you anything you want. I finally have no excuse, and finally the only option is to start advertising my skills online. I get home from my 9-to-5 the day after I complete that massive course, and I'm ready. I'm ready to make that account, start messaging employers, and start working for them. There is literally nothing else I can learn except learning new things on the job. But guess what? I still don't do it. And in fact, I never end up doing it. Because knowledge wasn't a problem anymore. I knew how to solve basically any task. And I could even work for myself now. I could work for a few hours on my own desk without getting distracted, no problem. The big problem was, I was a bitch. I didn't want to complete the big tasks, the big painful tasks that would actually move me forward. Welcome to the channel. My name is Brian, and I created this channel to help you make money online so that you can escape that shitty, soul-sucking 9-to-5 job. To get my personal one-to-one help with this, click the link in the description and I will personally guide you through everything and help you escape this terrible, outdated system that so many people are stuck in and tied to nowadays. The majority of the population trade an hour of their time for negligible amounts of money. Your time is valuable and you need to reclaim that time. And the same goes for the topic that I'm talking about in this video. Doing work which doesn't serve you is just as bad as not doing any work at all. You're just wasting your time. If you transplanted the current version of my brain with all of my knowledge and experience into the Brian from 2020, this is what I would do. I'd learn the basics of web development for the first 2 to 3 months. Just learn what everything is, the general landscape of the web development space, and then I'd start advertising myself. I'd make a Fiverr account, I'd make an Upwork account, I'd message every single job that exists on that damn website. Then I'd make a YouTube channel, I'd start making videos about how I do web development. Then I'd message a bunch of companies asking them if they want a website done. I'd basically do whatever I can to get my first client. Then after I actually got a job, I'd find a way to get it done. Beforehand, my strategy was learn everything there is to know so that you're ready for every possible web development job that could come your way. Now my strategy would be learn the basics, try to actually get a job first and figure out if I actually can get a job. And then once I've got the job, figure it out. Absolute worst case scenario, if the company pays you and you can't figure out a way to get it done, just be honest, say you can't get it done, refund them the money and give them whatever work you've already done on it for free. By only learning for 2 to 3 months and then applying for jobs, I would have had less experience, so obviously it would be harder to find a job, but I would have got my first job way faster than if I were to learn it for over a year in the first place. If you spend years learning everything there is to know about your topic first, you're wasting most of that time because the jobs that you get, you're only using 10% of that knowledge anyway. The biggest lesson I want you to take away from today's video is that doing the wrong work is just as bad as doing no work at all. I did the wrong work for 4 years, which was just learning a bunch of stuff and never actually applying it. And then when I started my first YouTube channel, I finally started doing just some of the right work. A lot of the work I did still didn't bring me forward, but I had about a 50-50 split, and in just 8 months from no knowledge, I managed to escape my 9 to 5. Doing work that doesn't matter is doing the equivalent of cheating your English teacher at school by just adding a bunch of filler words to your homework to look like you've done a lot of work, but in reality, you've not done anything at all. You're ambitious, use that ambition and do the work that really matters. In business, there's no one you have to answer to but yourself. You know inside whether you're doing the work that matters or the useless, busy work that isn't moving the needle forward. By doing just the important work, you're not only getting further ahead faster, you've also got more free time. From my experience of myself and working with people, the biggest problem people tend to have is just putting themselves out there and showing the world what they can offer it. In the product that I sell, I help my clients monetize their knowledge. So if you've played guitar for a while or you've had a fitness transformation, you can get to $10,000 a month fairly quickly. And for most of my clients, after we've made their offer and we've gone over everything else, the biggest thing they have to do is just to market themselves, show the world what they have. So for those people that work with me, the hard task is just marketing themselves in the way that I show them to do it. Just putting themselves out there, showing the world what they have. If you've been watching this channel recently, you know that I've been quite heavily pushing my product and basically booking a call with me to see if it's the right fit for you. And even the people that aren't really a good fit for the thing that I sell, which requires some knowledge to start with, they've already been learning a skill like video editing. So if you're one of those people, you've been learning a skill trying to escape the 9 to 5, but you don't quite have any knowledge that you monetize, what I always tell those people that I talk to is the following. Your priority, if you already know the basics of editing, shouldn't be learning how to make animations 10% faster. If you find a client, even if you're working for them for a very low price at first, you're earning money, and at the same time, whilst working for them, you're learning the skill. You should be messaging, trying to put yourself out there in any way you can. Make a bunch of content, cold email a bunch of companies, message a bunch of influencers on Instagram, do whatever you can. Business, especially at the beginning, if you don't have a lot of credibility built up yet, just takes a lot of brute force. If you have that brute force down with some basic knowledge that you can offer people, you will get clients. And after you get that first client, get them results, then you have something on your portfolio and you're much more likely to get clients in the future. And I did that in my first business as well. My first business was game development. I've made a lot of money as a game developer, but I didn't learn game development first. I actually started learning game development whilst making YouTube videos about it. And before I was even any good at it, I made terrible games, but I still made enough money to not have to work my job. The first video that's public on my other YouTube channel is literally about how I learnt game development in 7 days. Put yourself out there. Do the difficult task now. In business, it's easy to miss out on this and not do this and do the busy work that makes us feel like we're doing a lot, but in reality we're not doing anything at all. And that has been ingrained in us from school and the 9 to 5. In business, you get rewarded for moving the needle forward. In jobs and school, you get rewarded for looking like you're the busiest person and getting to send your boss a massive list of all the tasks that you've done, even if the tasks that you've done don't really help the company that much. Essentially, if you make the longest PowerPoint, you look like the most productive employee. Since we've been children, we've been trying to make our homework look really long and convoluted, so we filled it with a bunch of sentences that are essentially filler and don't actually add to the end result. You need to get out of that mindset if you want to be successful in business. Stop focusing on everything except the one task that will actually take you to your goal. And be scrappy with it. Don't make it absolutely perfect, because you can get 95% of the result in half of the time. If I started putting a bunch of fancy edits in this video, it wouldn't add any more value and knowledge to you, but it would take me a lot longer to make this video. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Don't make the mistake of spending twice as long on something just to get it 5% better. And remember to focus on the one task that brings you forward, especially when you start business and you get more experienced with it. You realize that problems happen all the time and there's always a bunch of things to do. But only do the thing that brings you forward. Because if you try to solve every problem that exists, you're not going to solve anything at all. A good trick to find out what you should actually be doing right now is just thinking of what the most painful task in your head is. That task that you feel the most resistance towards, it's probably the thing that you should be doing. If you only focus on that painful task and do a lot of it, nobody else is doing that and you will be ahead of everybody else very quickly. To get my personal help with making money on the internet, otherwise you don't pay me if it doesn't work, I'm that confident that you will succeed with me, click the link in the description. See you next video.